Deja vu? It may seem like it since we've made the same announcement 3 times in the last 3 months, with this being number 4, but we are lowering our prices again. First, our 30-day all access went from $349 to $299. Next, the 7-day all access pass went from $119 to just $99. And just a few weeks ago, despite our popular 3-day all access pass, it went down to $59 from $69. Next up is the 90-day all access pass, which is now officially dropped down to $749 from being $849, giving you 90 days of selections from your favorite handicapper for under $6 per week. Remember, purchase wager bucks can now be used the same as cash, including on our new lowered price, 3, 7, 30, and 90-day all access packages, allowing you to save every day on every pick you buy.
Oh, yeah, let it already start. Welcome in and a very happy Friday to you as the road to the Kentucky Derby continues on this, final week of February 2022. Still trying to wrap my head around that. That means, of course, another one of these all-important races, 50 points up for grabs here tomorrow at the Rebel Stakes at Oaklawn. And who better to help us break down that race than the two pundits themselves. That's it. Never a shortage of words for either of these two men. We should really just play what happens before the show. But hey, Marco in the house as well as Sig. Gentlemen, welcome in. Coming off a nice weekend last week, Marco, I believe. A couple of your favorite picks there on your card, certainly crossed and cashed there. So what else is going on for you? It's a big weekend this weekend as well.
Yeah, well, last week we had to listen to Sig all week because he had the trifecta. So, it was my turn. He got me fired up, and my top 3 horses ran home in the trifecta box. So that was nice. We had a nice little pre-race preview last night. Sig and I out having a couple late-night cocktails and talking about this race. And you know what, as you said, the road to the Kentucky Derby, I think they're going to rename it starting tomorrow. And it's the FU Bob Baffert World Tour. Bob is not going to be in the Kentucky Derby this year. He's not going to be a guest on this show either, I'm pretty sure. But he's got a big say in what's going to happen with the points, because although he can't earn any, he can steal them, because any points that his horses earn in these prep races now will not be available. They're just taken off the board. So if he does win this race tomorrow with the morning line favorite, that's 50 points that was up for grabs that is just nowhere to be found. So that's going to have an effect on the bottom end, I feel, of the 20 horses when we get to the Derby. It's going to leave a lot of horses live going into those final prep races.
Sig, have you noticed that the list of people and guests we can have on this show is shrinking every time Marco says something? I mean, Dale Romans is already never coming on. Baffert's out. It seems that list is getting short here with Marco. But what do you got? What do you got in store for us here? What do you think of this big weekend and Bob Baffert here trying to stick it to everyone for the rest of the season here, Sig?
Well, Joe, first kudos to Marco for last week. Epicenter got that easy lead. Nobody challenged him, and he took that right to the finish line going wire to wire in last week's race. I did not foresee that happening. This week I do foresee Newgrange going to the front, and I don't think anybody's going to give him much of a battle here, but I think Marco disagrees with that one, so we'll wait and see. But as for guests on the show, I mean, I don't even think his buddy Jeff wants to come on anymore. I mean, we have Bob Baffert, Dale Romans, no Jeff Zidek. I mean, nobody's coming on the Pony Pundits anymore.
Oh, we got to rethink this, man. If we're not getting the Meadows guys on, good Christ, this show is we're a hell of a handbag what we got here. All right, guys, we will, before we dive into this race, let's talk about a couple of things going on with these guys over at WagerTalk.com, including Sig's daily racing reports, guys, delivered straight to your inbox, guys, each and every race day by at least 9 a.m. Eastern time. WT.buzz/Sig. Sign up, Get these daily racing reports, guys, all week. Great time at the track here and a very profitable time as well. Hop on board with Sig. Grab those daily racing reports of his each and every race day by 9 a.m. And Marco, another big 5% winner, continuing to roll into profits here this year. We're talking about hockey plays now at 27 and 10. The last 37 is 4 and 5% big best bets, 18 and 7 here, guys. Now, I mean, it's getting crazy, and you can get all 3 days this weekend: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. All his 5% best bets, every play his, including here at the track, just $59. Head over to Marco's page right now. Take advantage of that, guys. No reason not to pad your bankroll here this weekend. Get on board red hot with Marco. 3 days, just $59. All right, let's head out to the track, shall we? As Oaklawn will be the location tomorrow. Race number 11. We've got 11 horses in this race. Marco, you are going to kick us off here with the number 1 horse. Talk to me about Cavod here at a 12-1 morning line.
Yeah, Joe, the first thing I'll say about this horse, as I do every year on the Derby Trail, I look at the number of starts, and this is a horse that I don't like generally because of that. This horse had 9 starts as a 2-year-old and then already has 2 as a 3-year-old. He's pretty much what he is. There's not going to be much more improvement with 11 career starts already. Now, if you look at this horse, the interesting thing is that this horse was claimed last year for $50,000 back on November 20th. And since then, this horse has been racing very well. However, his style has that he is either going to be on the lead or right behind the leader. And there is not a lot of speed in this race. That may help him, but if you look at the last race, the jockey Arrieta on this horse, Francisco Arrieta, he had trouble controlling the horse. He was trying to get the horse to rate, and the horse fought him the entire race, and I think he took something out of the horse. The horse faded in the stretch, and if you do look, since they've stretched him out past the 6 furlongs, the 2 races that they stretched him out, he finished up the track in the stretch, faded badly, had the lead turning for home in both of those races, and then ended up being beat by 5 3/4 lengths and by 3 lengths, finishing 4th in both of those. Although there's a lot of early speed here, he may hang on for 3rd or 4th, but he won't be on my ticket. I think there's better horses elsewhere.
All right, moving on. Number 2, our very first, Bob Baffert, bashing coming with Newgrange, like Marco had said, Sig. 0 points being awarded for any of Baffert's horses here. So 9-5 early line. What do you think of Newgrange?
Yeah, Joe. Well, Bob Baffert's won this horse 8 times since 2010. Most recently last year with Concert Tour and the previous year with Nadal. If you guys go back a few more years, American Pharaoh was also a winner of this race. Newgrange, I don't think we've seen the Colts best yet. He appears to be doing just enough to win his races, and I think there's some more untapped potential there for him. He's been training well, and he already shipped out to Oaklawn last month when he won the Southwest Stakes, so the travel is not a concern for me. On paper, this is his race to lose. I think they're all racing for second place here. And like Marco said, since Bob Baffert's entries don't qualify for Derby points, those 50 points, if he does earn them, will just be vacated. There will be less points available to the other horses out there in the Derby field. He's currently sitting on 20 points already. He was hypothetically 3rd in the Derby point race behind Epicenter and Smile Happy, who ran 1-2 last week in the Risen Star here. But to me, this is Newgrange's race to lose here. I think he's your most likely winner, and he's my top contender in this group.
Johnny V on top. All right, there you go. Number 2, Newgrange. Number 3, Karama here. What do you think as a 15-1 shot? Steve Asmussen's horse here. Giovanni Franco on board, Marco. Talk to me at 15-1.
Well, this is one of those horses with only 4 career starts, so still has a license to improve. However, since he broke his maiden last year back in September at Belmont, this horse has gone backwards He's got a 5th place finish. He did run 3rd in a small stake race, $150,000 stake race, and then finished 6th in his last race, that being the Smarty Jones. He ran behind 2 other horses that are in this race that beat him. This was a horse they had high hopes for. They spent $525,000 for this horse. Now, they didn't buy him as a yearling. They bought him as a 2-year-old in training. And so they must have really liked what they saw to put that kind of money down, but not showing it in his last couple. I don't like the horse in here. He is a horse that I have pitched. I'm looking elsewhere, but he's got good connections with Asmussen, who does well at Oaklawn. But I am going to look elsewhere for this one. And if you look at his speed figures, they're just not fast enough as the top contenders in this race. So he's a toss for me.
All right, tossing. We're going to move on. Number 4 here, Unoho. What do you think? 12-1 with this horse here, Sig. What do you think? Possible?
Well, Joe, at first glance here, this Leobound gelding appears live. He had a hard closing stretch run to finish as the runner-up in the Withers at Aqueduct earlier this month to a very talented Chad Brown colt in early voting. But upon a further review here, that race set up perfectly for this gelding. They went very slow on the front end with a 48.5, and they went 6 furlongs in a minute 14 here, allowing a perfect setup for him to come charging down the stretch, passing horses. His speed figures are not that impressive here. He's got to take a major step forward to be a factor in this field. But what is intriguing is that closing ability. It makes him a candidate here to pick up the bottom of your exotic tickets. He could be passing towering horses here at a price, but he's probably going to leave himself too much ground to make up. I'm going to use him lightly on some deep exotic tickets at the bottom of the trifecta and the superfecta.
All right, we'll see that. Big money there coming from the clouds. Another one that might be coming from the clouds, Marco, number 5, Texas Red Hot. And I believe Ricardo Santana Jr. on board. Another big number here at 12-1. What do you think?
Yeah, he's a big number for a reason, Joe. This horse, I don't think he's fast enough to go with these horses. He's had 5 career starts, 2 wins in a second. That looked impressive, but the first time they stepped him up in a major test was the Kentucky Jockey Club. Now, the good news is that Kentucky Jockey Club race is proving to be a good stepping stone race for the Kentucky Derby, because the horses coming out of that race, Smile Happy, Classic Causeway, and White Abario, the 1, 2, 3 finishers in that race, have all come back to run big so far in 2022 and are some of your favorites for the Derby. However, he was no factor at all in that race. Texas Red Hot finished 10th, beaten 14 lengths in doing so, never a factor at any point of the race. I look at his speed figures, and even his best speed figure of his 5 career starts, doesn't put him anywhere near the finish line in this one. He's a toss.
All right, tossing out Texas Red Hot. We're going to move on to number 6, Stellar Tap, another Steve Asmussen horse here. Started out promising here, but what do you think at this number here, 10-1, Sig?
Well, Joe, yeah, Stellar Tap made a name for himself last summer at Saratoga, as he was Steve Asmussen's winning horse that made him the all-time winningest trainer in thoroughbred horse racing. After that start, though, he's been far from stellar. He made a move for the lead in the Iroquois at Churchill in September, but then faded, and he faded again in the Breeders' Futurity at Keeneland in October. Following a layoff, he came back in an allowance of Fairgrounds, finishing 3rd, which isn't very encouraging leading into a graded stakes race like we're going to see on Saturday here. So it looks to me like he may be better suited as a sprinter, but who am I to question Steve Asmussen and his training abilities here? Stellar Tap is going to be a toss for me on Saturday.
All right, moving on. Number 7, Ben Diesel, 6-1. It looks like here on the morning line. Dallas Stewart bringing a horse here with Ben Diesel. What do you think? Another one of these, I believe, Kentucky Jockey Club alums here, Marco.
Yeah, this is an interesting horse, and he does come out of that very good race, and he finished a good third in that race. Now, it looks good because of the two horses he ran behind. But if you go back and watch that race, of the three horses in that race that finished 1, 2, 3, he had the absolute best trip of those three. He had an inside ground saving trip, and whenever it opened up for him to come through, he came through, but he could not match the finish of both Newgrange and Barber Road, a horse we'll talk about in a little bit. In Barber Road was a horse that came from way out of it. So as far as trip goes, if he had that good of a trip and couldn't top the other two, what's going to turn the tables here? Now, he is a candidate to finish on the ticket, and I will look for him. He's going to end up just missing my ticket, but I will have my ticket, have him on the ticket on the bottom end of a try in Superfecta. But for a win or place candidate, I just don't see him getting there. Also, great, history-wise, jockey, I can't say anything bad about John Court other than, time might be passing him by. This is a jockey that's only won at a 7% clip over the last 30 days, and he's had 56 mounts. He's had a lot of mounts here, and he's only hit the board 23% of the time. That's not something I want to look at in a big $1 million race when you're going to get some other big-name jockeys coming in for the race. That's what's kept me off of number 7, Ben Diesel. I don't care if it's Vin Diesel. I'm still not betting the horse.
Oh, I heard Sig is riding Vin Diesel in the Saudi Arabian Open coming up. All right, so talk to us here at number 8, Sig. Chasing Time. Another Steve Asmussen horse. Maybe the best one entered in this race. 8-1, and he's shipping in good old Tyler Gaffleo from Florida for this one. What do you think?
He is, yes, Joe. This is Colts out of Not This Time, and he hit the exact in 4 of his 5 career starts, but those were all in maiden and or allowance company. This is going to be his first foray in the stakes competition. I like the fact that his speed figures are steadily increasing with each outing, and that he's raced on or near the lead in all those starts. But in this field, he's going to see a little too much early speed here. I think jockey Tyler Gaffleo, like you said, shipping in from Florida here, is going to take this one back early and try to set on for one big late run here. As he pulled away from the field late in his last race, going a mile, and continued well on past the wire. He has gone off as the post-time favorite in all his career starts, and that's possibly because all of his, quote, owners are betting him, as he's owned by the My Racehorse conglomerate of micro shareholders. But all of Fast Moose's entries in here, this one is in the best position to get a piece of it late. Use them underneath in some exotics.
Anytime you get air quotes from Sig, Marco, I sense a bit of sarcasm there. Let's move on. Number, I believe, 9. We're up Barber Road. 9-2 here, a John Ortiz trained horse. What do you think of that at 9-2 with this horse, Marco?
Well, I like this horse, and it's hard not to. The horse has 6 career starts, 2 wins, and 3 seconds. Now, with all of those seconds, the 3 seconds, they have come in his last 3 races. And some might say, uh-oh, he's got the bridesmaid syndrome here, finishing second. But he's had rough trips if you go back and look at the replays. And this is a horse that came from absolute left field last time out. Now, he was in the same race with Newgrange, and we've all talked about how good Bob Baffert's horse is and is the horse to beat. If you go back and just watch the trip that Newgrange got compared to the trip that Barber Road got, and he only beat him by a length and a half, I'm going to go for the price horse. I think that if he gets a cleaner trip, he can erase that length and a half deficit. So for me, this is going to end up being my top choice when we get to our selections. But clearly to me, it is a 2-horse race, and that 2-horse race is Barber Road and Newgrange. But I like to get a little bit of a price, make some money. I'll be rooting for the upset with Barber Road.
All right, Barber Road it is. Speaking of a road, how about Ethereal Road here at 12-1 for the legend Dwayne Lucas. In this one here, Sig, 12-1. What do you think of Ethereal Road?
Well, Joe, there was a lot of debate last night in the pre-production meeting of the show regarding the 10 horse here. He's a quality road colt. He needed 4 attempts to break his maiden for Dwayne Lucas here, finally accomplishing that feat last month at Oaklawn. He'll be going the same distance in that race that he went in his maiden breaking win. The problem he's created for himself is that he's slow breaking from the gate, leaving himself way too much work to do to make up ground. And while that can be compensated for in those maiden ranks like he did last out, it won't be as easy going against winners in graded stakes competition. Now, if you go back and you watch the replay of his last race, he did make up a ton of ground. He had a very nice closing kick to pull away from the field in there. And he's worked consistently since that win, but I don't see any indication that this colt's ready for prime time yet, and I'm not going to be using him on Saturday.
If Ethereal Road does make it to the Derby, that would be the 49th Derby starter for the legend Dwayne Lucas. Crazy here, been around forever. And that leads us to number 11, Dash Attack here, Marco, 8-1 on the morning line here. Kenny McPeak, what do you think about this horse at 8-1?
Yeah, this is another horse that has raced well. 3 career starts, has a license to improve. Sky's the limit for him. My problem is he's got the 11 post position, and I'm just trying to see how he is going to work a trip out from post 11 in this race. Kenny McPeak, decent trainer, has been going well. But if you look at the jockey here, David Cohen, on the big stage, I'm just not a fan. And he is even colder than the last jockey that I kind of bashed, John Court. David Cohen, 58 starts in the last 30 days. He's won at a 5% rate. Not good. His in the money first, second, or third is just 21%. If you've been betting his horses, you're burning through your bankroll. This is a horse, speed-wise, he's going the wrong direction. If you look at his 3 starts, he's gone slower with the speed figure in each of his last 3. You want to see them go in the other direction at this time of the year. So for those reasons, I'm going to look at a toss. Now, I'm going to point one thing out. If we end up with a sloppy track tomorrow, if you go and look at his 3 starts, his 2 best starts, both wins, were on off tracks, a sloppy track and a good track. So if this ends up being an off track tomorrow, that would increase my likeliness of him, and I would end up throwing him on the bottom end of a couple tickets. But right now, Dash Attack is not going to be on my attack ticket tomorrow.
All right, good stuff there, guys. 11 entries in this at Oaklawn, race number 11 tomorrow for the Rebel Stakes. This is the moment of truth now. Time to check out who these guys have on their ticket. So, Sig, start us off here, man. What do you got going on for this Rebel Stakes tomorrow?
Well, Joe, I only got to talk about one of the horses I like because I liked a lot of the odd horses here that Marco had. I had number 2, Newgrange on top. I already told you guys my thoughts, excuse me, on Newgrange. I like the 7, Ben Diesel, at 6-1 in the second spot there. He's out of Will Take Charge, who won this race back in 2013. And while his only win came in that debut here, he did run well in that Kentucky Jockey Club before fading late. And then he battled the slop in the Smarty Jones again before fading late. He's left himself a lot of work to do. I think as he's progressed here, though, I think it impresses me that he stayed on in the Southwest here last month. He was passed late by Barber Road, but he did hold on for third going that same distance here. Like you said, Dallas Stewart knows a thing or two about getting horses ready for big races. I think this one comes in poised to make his mark on Saturday. While I don't think he's going to have to beat Newgrange, I think he very well could run second in here. He's a live long shot for me. I went with Barber Road in the third spot there. He's been the runner-up in those last 3 stakes races, including that Southwest. training well, and Ray Luke Gutierrez is going to be back aboard the ride after Ricardo Santana had the mount for trainer John Ortiz in the Southwest. He's been training well, and he hasn't been attracting a lot of attention at the windows. He's gone off at 11-1, 8-1, and 9-1 those last 3 starts, but he should be able to get some value there. Definitely use him underneath here. And then I do like the 11 dash attack. I know Marco just attacked his jockey, and he attacked the horse, and he pretty much just doesn't like the horse. But you know what? I do. He began his career with those 2 victories, including the win of Smarty Jones over that sloppy track on New Year's Day. Brought him back in the Southwest. He couldn't make up any ground on those early leaders there, but he's working well, and he fits here at a price of 8-1. They didn't do him any favors putting him on the outside in that post draw. But and Marco is right. David Cohen's been cold recently, but he did guide this colt to 2 wins over the Oaklawn surface already here. Definitely a plus if this track is wet on Saturday. It never rains at Oaklawn, of course, but if the track does come up a little bit off here, it's definitely a plus for dash attack here. I went 2, 7, 9, and 11 here for Saturday in the Rebel Stakes.
All right, 2, 7, 9, and 11 for Sig and his selections for the Rebel. Marco, see what your card looks like, my man. What do you got for us?
Well, it's like just the opposite. Sig said he didn't get to talk about 3 of his horses because he had the even numbered horses. Well, I didn't get to talk about 3 of mine because I got the even. I had the odd horses, and my selections are a lot of even number horses. I already said number 9 Barber Road and number 2 Newgrange. These 2 horses are interchangeable for this race. I think they are the only 2 horses that have the shot to win this race. So I will be keying those 2 horses in trifectas. I'll have them both as the 2 keys that I'm using. The other horses that I'm using with them in Newgrange, what can you say about the Bob Baffert horse? He's undefeated, and in his last race, and what Sig had mentioned about, he only won by a length and a half, and I talked about Barber Road closing on him. One of the reasons that Newgrange, with only those 3 starts so far, he's still a little green, and it looked like halfway down the stretch in that race that he was going to hang. The reason he wasn't making up serious ground and just hanging there is the horse didn't change leads. He still was on the wrong lead coming into the stretch. That's a greenness factor of inexperience with the horse. Once he changed leads, that's when he spurted off to open up and win the race by length and a half or length and 3/4. So as he grows and matures, he's going to get better, no question. Number 8, Chasing Time. This is a horse that is improving rapidly, and it is owned by My Racehorse, which that group could get our price less than it should be here. The horse is an 8-1 on the morning line. Possibility he goes off less than that because, as Sig said, there's a lot of owners on this horse owning micro shares, and they all like to bet their horse. That hurts your odds with him. But he is a horse that's going in the right direction. In that last race, when he opened up and won by 7 open lengths and drawing away, that might have just been what I like to refer to as the light bulb race. We talk about it with these young horses, the race where they put it all together. So definitely have him on your ticket. And then the horse that is the most interesting horse to me, the 10 horse Ethereal Road. Now, Sig talked about that replay, and he very knowledgeable about that replay. Well, we all know the aversion to watching replays that my esteemed colleague Sig has. I finally figured out how to get him to watch a replay on a horse that he needed to. We went out last night at 1 a.m. and we were at a bar having a couple drinks, and I took his drink away from him. I took the Blue Moon, and I said, damn it, you're not going to get your Blue Moon until you watch this replay. Watch it. Look at it. Look at it. And then he got to see what I was talking about. This horse practically fell out of the gate when the gate opened and spotted the field 20 lengths. Okay, now he brought it up that was against maiden-type horses. When you go back and watch this race, you're going to see the horse twice in the entire race. You're going to see him when he stumbles out of the gate, and then you're not going to see him on the screen again until they're rounding the last turn, and this horse is flying like the other horses are standing still. Yes, it was Maiden Company. But you know what? He raced on the same day, on the same card, at the same distance as Newgrange did in his last race. And he went just 1 second slower than Newgrange did. And he spotted the field 20 lengths. Think about that for a moment. I have him on my ticket at 12-1 is the long shot for the 88-year-old Dwayne Lucas. Lucas might find himself another Kentucky Derby horse here. That's my long shot on the ticket. 9-2, 8-10. And sorry that I held your blue moon for so long there, Sig.
Just blasphemous. 9-2, 8, and 10 for Marco in the Rebel, and that's just blasphemy. You can't be doing that. That's a crime, absolute crime. Holding the man's blue moon back like that. That is terrible. But won't be terrible tomorrow at the track, guys, because this is going to be a hell of a race. It's a big racing weekend, and there's also plenty else going on, NBA, college hoops, NHL, a lot happening this weekend. My suggestion is you head over to WagerTalk.com. Take advantage of both the offers these gentlemen have right now, including Sig's daily racing reports. Each and every race day available by at least 9 a.m. You get notified, dropped right in your email there at wt.buzz/Sig. You'll get all of his daily racing sheets there that he's got for the day. And Marco, well, he's got 3 days right now, all access, just $59. Every NBA, every college basketball, every NHL play, any of the horses that he's got on his card this weekend, all yours, guys, just $59. Head over to Marco's page now. Take advantage as the man is on fire. So no reason not to make it a profitable weekend over at WagerTalk.com, whether it be at Oaklawn or it be on the ice, on the hardwood. Let's make some cash here. So the Rebel Stakes it is, guys. We'll be back again next Friday as the road to the Kentucky Derby continues. Until then, on behalf of Marco D'Angelo, no more beer holding Marco, and Sig, guys, we appreciate the time. You hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. You'll get notified when we go live. And until next week, guys, best of luck with your plays this weekend. We'll talk to you then. Good luck.
Deja vu? It may seem like it since we've made the same announcement 3 times in the last 3 months, with this being number 4, but we are lowering our prices again. First, our 30-day all-access went from $349 to $299. Next, the 7-day all-access pass went from $119 to just $99. And just a few weeks ago, despite our popular 3-day all-access pass, it went down to $59 from $69. Next up is the 90-day all-access pass, which is now officially dropped down to $749 from being $849, giving you 90 days of selections from your favorite handicapper for under $6 per week. Remember, purchase wager bucks can now be used the same as cash, including on our new lowered price, $3, $7, $30, and 90-day all-access packages, allowing you to save every day on every pick you buy.